Hi there, friends. Kathy Walton says it's frigid in Colorado. Hi, Tony. Thanks for sharing. Debbie, good morning to you in Australia. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Time in Ohio, in the United States. Let's see who else is here. Mary Ellen from Montana. Hi, Gail and Ruth. Hi, Joan. And thanks to all of you who have shared. I appreciate that so very much. Hope you are having a good week. One second. I was online a lot yesterday. 2 Facebook Lives. The first Facebook Live, I took everybody through the mini catalog, pointing out the things that will go on to the last chance list tomorrow, December 1st, and which products are discounted and what the sale price will be starting December 1st. And I also mentioned that also happening tomorrow, December 1st, there will be a clearance rack refresh. And both the last chance list, those discounted prices, and the clearance rack refresh start at 2 a.m. Mountain Time. So adjust your time depending on what time zone you live in. And get ready. Get ready. That's all I can say. Make your list. If you haven't been through the catalog and you haven't seen a list, there are PDFs that I sent in an email earlier this week, and you can watch the video from yesterday's Facebook Live where I walked everybody through the catalog. But it's helpful to be ready. Many items will sell out. Some will sell out very, very quickly. So if there's something that is a must-have for you, please get it right away. Same thing with the clearance rack. We did get a hint that some of those exclusive dies that were part of our Perfect Partners promotion a few months ago will be on the clearance rack. So look for those. I'm trying to think, what are a couple of them? The Apple Harvest die, Yeti to the Party, was it Trees for Sale, the one with that had the little retro camper? But you will see some of those. So you can decide, do you want to get up early and take a look at the list right away and place your order, or you just want to wait and see after you get up, which is what I do a lot of times. Oh yes, Kathy, the piggies, yes, the piggy dies. And I love that, what is it, Happy Birthday Piggies or something like that, Birthday Piggies. I love that stamp set. So if you can get a hold of those dies, they are wonderful to go with that stamp set. It's always a great thing when we have punches and dies that coordinate with our stamp sets. Also, if you're a demonstrator, pre-order starts tomorrow, and demonstrators can earn celebration rewards at the same time as their pre-order. So that's a great thing. Many of you may not know, some of you probably do, but many may not. If you're not a demonstrator, demonstrators also get our discount on top of sale prices. So when we look at the clearance rack or the discount items from the last chance list, we get that sale price, and then we get our discount on top of that. So we get even greater value. So consider that if you are a Stampin' Up! Enthusiast. I would love to have you join my Merry Stampers community of demonstrators, most of them being hobbyists and people who love to grab good deals. So think about that. And also, if you purchase a starter kit, you can put sale items on your starter kit, giving you even more value. We're all about value this month, aren't we? Everybody's shopping and spending, and we're trying to get the most we can for our money. So December 1st, big day. I also will mention that I have registration open for 2 classes to go. My Forever Friendship class, you'll make 8 cards to each of 4 designs. Love those. Just nice cards for all occasions, right? Or just to tell somebody you're thinking of them, reaching out to somebody, sending happy mail. Great card for that. The last Christmas card class to go is open for registration also this week, and it too ends, the deadline to register is ending on December 3rd. So you might want to consider that. It uses the Jingle 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 stamp set. All of my Christmas card classes have been 10 cards to each of 5 designs, and this will be as well. Okay, and then what did we do? Let's see, today's Wednesday. What did we do Monday, Facebook Live? On Monday, we worked with Stampin' Up's craft gift boxes, and I showed people 4 different possibilities, because you let your imagination go, let your imagination, creativity run wild, and you'll come up lots of ideas of your own. But I gave 4 different ideas for decorating the craft gift boxes. This is just one of the 4. This posted to, that's the inside. This posted to my blog today. So you can watch the video replay there and see photos and a list of all the Stampin' Up! Products I used. And I'm using mine to give gift cards to my family members. Who said that? Oh, Melinda! Happy 55th anniversary to you and your love on December 1st. That's another big reason, or even better reason really, to be celebrating on December 1st. So congratulations to you. Thanks for sharing that. Also posted to my blog last night is the monthly Paper Pumpkin Possibilities blog hub, where I share Paper Pumpkin alternative projects with this month's kit, along with several other demonstrators. And we call it a blog hop because you view mine and then you go hop, hop, hop. There's a next, there's a pumpkin that says next. You click on that, it'll hop you on over to the next blog, and so on. And I believe typically we have about 12 to 15 people blogging. So honestly, I don't remember what the number was for this month. But anyways, I'm going to give you a peek of what I did. I used, it's a tag kit for those of you who aren't familiar. I made the 3 tags pretty close to what the directions were, but then put them together in this collage, or could be used as a scrapbook page. And a lot of times I make things, I'm making stuff all the time, and I'm making things faster than I can use them or give them away or whatever. And I thought, okay, this is really cute, but I don't know that I'll use this myself in my home. But I got a great idea today. Yesterday, I babysat little baby Arlo, my next door neighbor, who's 4 months old. Sweet as can be. I had so much fun. But I thought, I'm going to ask his parents. I'm not going to tell them what the gift is, but I'm going to ask his parents for a few photos of the baby from his first 4 months. And then I'm going to print them and size them and put them on here, put this in a frame and give it to Adrian and Natalie for Christmas from their little one. So I'm excited about that. And then, you know, I like to repurpose shopping bags, gift boxes, things like that. Paper pumpkin boxes are awesome for repurposing. And I do it a lot, especially, you know, some of the kits are in the orange, I don't have one handy here, are in the traditional orange paper pumpkin boxes, but many of them are specialized. So that's what I did here. And it's all elements from the kit. The only thing that I used was the Snow Flurry dies to die cut some snowflakes. And these snowflakes were cut from, what I'll say, like the negative space left after I punched out the pieces for the kit. So a great way to use up those scraps too. But if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I hope you will check that out. And even if you're not, please check that out on stampinpeace.com, because you can do the same sort of things with other supplies you have in your own home. And if you are interested in becoming a Paper Pumpkin subscriber yourself or giving one as a gift, there's information on how to do that on my blog as well, stampinpeace.com. Okay, today, well, Andrea was here for a bit working. We knocked out, like 65 Christmas cards for my team. What else did she do? A little computer work for me. Seems like she did something else. I can't remember. Oh, did some labeling. And we had lunch, and then she left and I came back down to work, and it was just one of those moments where I was trying to just stay focused. And finally I was like, you know what? I'm not staying focused. I'm gonna go upstairs and wrap some Christmas presents. I have pulled things out of my closet 3 days ago, and I kept thinking, when I get a little time, I'll run up there. Well, I've been working the last 3 days, and I've worked till like about 10 o'clock each night the last 3 days. So I took a good break, did lots of wrapping, went over my list, you know, checking when things are being shipped, that sort of thing. So I'm in good shape. But that gave me some inspiration to do something different tonight than a card. So I'm going to show you how to make what I'm calling a box bag, and we're going to make it in 2 sizes. And I think you'll really like this. You know, as crafters, we give a lot of handmade gifts, but we can use our creativity and all our paper crafting supplies to do some creative packaging, just like we did with the craft gift boxes on Monday. So today we're using DSP and some coordinating cardstock, and we're going to make 2 box bags in 2 different sizes. And I'll show you how to do this and how to adjust your sizing for other things as well. All right, while I flip my camera around, I'm going to ask that you share this live video and invite others to join us for tonight's projects. Okay. Thank you always for your patience as I'm always adjusting my camera here to give you the best view that I can. Tonight I'm using some Designer Series paper from the Boughs of Holly 12x12 DSP pack. And we're going to start with the larger box. Both sizes are made basically the same way, but I think it'll be a little bit easier for you to see and get the hang of this if I do the larger one first, okay? Put my cheat sheet there for the measurements. I have pre-cut a piece of real red cardstock, measures 8 inches by 5 inches, and I'll explain in a little bit why I'm using that measurement. But it's 8 by 5. I've got 2 strips that are 1 inch by 11 inch, and I already went ahead and rounded the corners of those, and we're going to be just doing some scoring with that. I have 2 strips that measure 3/4 inch by 11 inches, and these could be anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch wide, I would say, for this size bag. And then I have a piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper that I cut right down the middle at 6 inches, okay? In addition to the paper trimmer, I will need a bone folder, and tonight I'm using tear and tape. For this project, you'll want a very strong adhesive, so I would suggest the Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape. Both of these work really well. You could also use the multi-purpose glue if that's your preference, because the hold is very strong. You just need to give it some drying time between steps. And to eliminate that drying time, I am not using that tonight for demonstration purposes. I'll mainly be using the tear and tape. So this cardstock cut 5 inches by 8 inches. And I did that because I want the base of my box bag to be 3 inches by 6 inches. So what I've done is added 1 inch all the way around. So that's how I came up with 5 by 8. And I'm going to take that piece of cardstock and I'm going to score it 1 inch all the way around, 1 inch on all 4 sides. So as I do this, you'll understand better the dimensions. Okay, I want the base of my box bag to be 3 inches by 6 inches, and then I have that 1 inch all the way around. So I've got 6, 7, 8 inches long, and then I've got 3, 4, 5 inches wide. So knowing that, you can make this any size you want just by adding 1 inch on every side. Or size it down also, but no matter how you size it, larger or smaller on the base or a square, you're going to add 1 inch to every side to get your length and width. On these pieces, I'm just going to do this now because my scoring tool is out. I'm going to score, let me think about this a second, at 1.5, I believe is what I did. And right there. And then I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, but I only want to score make a long score line between my 2 short score lines. So I'm actually going to just set this down at about the 1.5 mark and go down. Remember that your cutting and scoring blades have that groove on the side, and you can line that up with the 1.5. And if you go a little bit beyond it, like I did here, couldn't see it very well at the angle I was using, don't worry about it. It's not going to make a huge difference. Because sometimes this is much easier to do also if you can look directly over the scoring tool, which I'm trying to look at an angle because I don't think you want to see the top of my head. Oops, I forgot to even make my short ones. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I did the same thing. Score at 1.5 on each end, and then I scored down the center between those short score lines. Now we're ready to put our box bag together. First thing you want to do is make sure that you score well with your bone folder on all 4 of the score lines. I'm going to do these handles right now too, just like that. These are going to be the handles of our bag. Okay, so I have this. This is going to be the base, the bottom of my box bag. I want to cut so that these 4 corners will be used to put this bottom together, the box bottom together. So I'm cutting straight up on the long sides, just straight up to the first score line, and then I'm cutting out just a narrow triangle. Same thing on the opposite side. Cut up to the first score line, and then cut an angle so that you can get that little triangle piece cut out. Now I'm going to, again, you can use Stampin' Seal Plus or the tear and tape. Of course, you can use multi-purpose glue, but if you do that, you need a little drying time. Just whatever adhesive you choose to use, make sure it's strong. Just like when you make any 3D item, you want to choose a strong adhesive. All right, and then you're just going to fold those small tabs in, and you want to match up at the corner and the top. Okay, so fold the small tabs in, matching up the corner and the top. Do the same thing for all 4 corners. Just like that. Okay, so this is the box part of our box bag. All right, now to determine I'm making my box bag 6 inches high. This is the maximum height that you could do using just one sheet of DSP. If you want it 9 inches, you're going to need, you're going to need 2 sheets of DSP, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and put these together using my tear and tape, just end to end. All right, and then I'm just going to overlap this just a little bit, and I'm going to line up the top and bottom edges. And I think that looks good. Now, this is a little longer than what I need it to be. So to determine how long I need it to be, because I want one continuous piece to go all the way around my box bag. So I'm going to add up all 4 sides. So 6 inches plus 3 inches is 9, plus another 6, plus another 3 gives me 18 inches. And I want to go at least a ½ inch beyond that. I need a little bit of an overlap. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 3 gives me 18. So I know I want to cut it 18½ inches to 19. If you want a bigger overlap, maybe go up to an inch. But typically a ½ inch is enough overlap. So now don't fret. Depending on the size of your paper cutters, some go to 12 inches, some 14. The Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer goes to 17 inches. And you're like, well, wait a second, Mary, we need 18½. So here's my tip. Take it, I have the arm all the way out, and it goes to like 17¼ I just say 17. So I'm going to put my Designer Series paper at the 17-inch mark, way to my left. And then I've got my scoring tool at the top. I'm just gonna score a tiny bit because that tells me where 17 inches is. And I know I need another 1.5 inches, right? To take it to 18½ inches is that I need. So now I know, and you won't be able to see the score line here, but I can see it. So I'm going to put that right at the 1.5 inch mark. And that's where I'm going to cut. So this piece is extra. So that's how I got my 18½ inches on a paper trimmer that only goes to 17 inches. You can also use a yardstick. Does anybody have a yardstick in their house anymore? I don't know. That always makes me think of my dad. He was always like, where's the yardstick? But a tape measure, a sewing tape measure, anything like that. Whatever's easiest for you. And then on one long side, I'm going to add my wonderful tear and tape again, and look, I'm right at the end here. Sometimes the kits will come with these little rolls of tear and tape. These particular ones were in that, let me think, the kit that had the, what is it called? I can't remember. It's the kit that has the 12 by 12 frames with the magnetic inserts. It came with that because there are some tiny little like file folder type things you can add if you're using it as a memo board. and they use the tear and tape to put that together. Okay, we got some yardstick people here. You know, I was just thinking as I said that, my kids are, let's see, 31 and 26, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I've ever had, I'm sure I did at one time, and I was a teacher before, and I remember having one, but I don't even know if my kids have ever used a yardstick. But that's okay, there's lots of other stuff. Oh, before I take this off, I do want to, and this may or may not be a big deal to you, just want to go over with you, think about where the seams are going to go, because you know we already have one seam because we had to piece the DSP together to make it long enough for this. But I like to just kind of know that my seams are going to be somewhat hidden as best I can. And oh, Lori, yes, with fleece blankets. Oh gosh, I used to make a bunch of those. The girls and I made a bunch of those when they were younger. And Andrea was just talking about that, actually, about making gifts. So you kind of want to estimate where your seams are going to fall. So it looks like, based on how I did that, I'm going to have one kind of at this back corner and then one about at the side. Does that make sense? If you don't care about where the seams are, don't worry about it. I tend to get a little anal about that kind of thing. Just because I think, you know, we're taking the time to make something. We want it to be our best work and for it to look its best. And so maybe a few extra minutes trying to think about those seams. Yeah, I think that's going to be just about where it ends up. So the way I do this is I'm going to, because I want this to be at the corner if I can get it at the corner. So I'm just going to hold it in place and just kind of pinch the corners. I'm trying to see what is the best way for you to see this. Just kind of pinching the corner. I'm not adhering it yet. Not adhering it yet. And I'm just going to pinch the corners. I don't like to score the corners because of the DSP, because if you're scoring it exactly 3 inches and 6 inches, etc., sometimes when you go around that corner, it's just the slightest bit more, like a little smidgen more than the 3 inches or the 6 inches. And then sometimes things don't lay quite right. So that's why I just like to go around and kind of pinch like that. So you can see where I pinched, okay? And let's see, I did it this way. And I'm going to start adhering from the opposite side. So let me think about this. Just take your time, no hurry. So I'm going to bring this side around, and that little flap, and the pinch, first pinch, is going to go right there. I have to pull it a little closer. I have to turn it this way so I can see better. And then I'm just going to go right around. You see what I'm doing here? Now, I will say I'm holding it this way because I want you to see what I'm doing. But I will say, if you put it down like this and work your way around, then the bottom edge of your DSP is going to line up really nicely with the bottom edge of your box. And it's really easy. So you decide, is this the easiest way for you? Having it right along your tabletop, and I just pull out that adhesive backing as I need to. Or is it easier for you, again, I'll turn around here. Is it easier for you to pick it up and just feel the edges lining up with your fingers, all right? I guess I do it both ways, but demonstrating, I tend to pick it up more just because I want you to be able to see every little step of me going around. Okay, and then, oh, and I put my adhesive on the wrong side, Mary. Darn it. Okay, so I will just pull this up. I wish I had put my adhesive going up along this piece because it would have landed right at the corner, but I didn't do that. And I don't want adhesive, sticky adhesive on the inside. So I'm just switching it up. But again, that's minor, right? And then you just kind of put that last piece in place. I think it's good to be able to stick your hand inside and just run it along, smooth it out. Also on the inside of your box, now I only put adhesive right along the bottom edge of the DSP. You might decide, well, it's got these little gaps in here. That's not going to make a difference, really, when you put something in. But if you feel like you want extra adhesive in, you want to run a second row of the tear and tape along, you can do that. But you just, if you do add the second piece inside, you want to make sure you don't go above 1 inch, because then you would be going above the 1 inch upright of the box part. Make sense? Follow me? All right, so this is basically my box bag now, and you can see why it's called a box bag. We've got the box bottom, and then the rest, we've actually added bag portion with our DSP. All right. Now, I'm going to be adding handles to this. I could go ahead, and I'll show you how to make them in a moment. I could go ahead and add them just as is, and that's fine. But I want to make this just a little sturdier at the top. So I'm going to add my strip of cardstock. And again, I've cut these 3/4 inches wide. You could go anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch in width. And I'm going to use some more tear and tape. I'm just going to go right down the middle on this tear and tape. Again, you might want to go along the top and the bottom. You could also use your multi-purpose glue or your Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm out of that one. I've got a bunch of these little rolls from different kits over the years. Are you like that when you have kits and things? You save the extra? That's one area where I am pretty frugal. And speaking of frugal, remind me when I'm finished showing you this bag to tell you about my Andrea story. She needed a lesson in being frugal today because I said, well, I'll tell you in a moment. And she's very frugal. So when she did this particular thing, I was like, what are you thinking? You'll laugh when I tell you. But let's get this done first. And you can overlap the cardstock if you want. I just barely overlap it. You could even just have the ends meet. And I'm going all the way around. Oh, that was pretty close. I'm going to cut off right about here, which is where it'll meet up with the first piece of cardstock, first end there. Okay. Oh, left it just a wee bit long. Okay, so there's my box bag with the top reinforced now. Okay. Here is how I'm going to make these handles, and these are going to look kind of fancy. I was so excited when I learned this online. By the way, I got the basic layout instructions from I can't think, Kirsten Gill, I believe is her last name, Kirsten Gill. But that's how I learned to make these handles. I was so excited because I knew I wanted to make the box bag, but I thought I'm gonna look it up and see how different people made them and sizing and that sort of thing. And I came across hers with these awesome handles. Okay, and then I'm going to fold these in half on that score line. Notice that I only put the adhesive, I only put the tear and tape down the center. I didn't put it on those ends where I marked off 1.5 inches. All right, so you've got an edge where the, a side where the two edges meet, and then you've got a side where the fold is. And when I adhere these, I want to do it so that the raw edges are on the inside of my bag and the folded edges are towards the outside of the bag. And I'm just curling these between my fingers just to kind of loosen up the strands of paper, the fibers in there. Just makes it easier to curl. Now I have to think which, because I want this the opposite way. Yep, I guess it doesn't matter until I actually put them on my box bag. Hey there, Jean. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for sharing. I appreciate all of you sharing. You can share at the beginning, the middle, now, the end, after the live is over. But that definitely, it helps me expand my reach. Okay, so now I'm ready to add these to my box bag, just like that. And the way I'm going to do this is with, I'm actually going to, instead of the tear tape, I'm actually going to use my Seal Plus in there. And you're not going to be, you don't need to get the adhesive all the way up into that groove, but just maybe, you know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch in as far as you can. Again, you want some good strong adhesive here. And I just eyeball it. I'm not measuring. I just like to eyeball it. Press and hold for a few seconds. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Add my strong adhesive. I'm using Seal Plus. You could use the tear and tape again here, or the multi-purpose glue. But if you're using multi-purpose glue, make sure you give yourself give it plenty of drying time. And I'm kind of just looking across. Again, I'm not measuring, but I'm just kind of looking across to see, are they across from each other? Are they in good position? And when I think they are, I'm just going to press them into place like that. Isn't that cute? I love it. Love it. Let me see if I can lift this up just a bit so you can see the whole thing a little bit better. Does that work for you? Okay, so now you can see the whole thing. Looks like a purse, doesn't it? All right, and I think we should finish it off, you know. You could always add a tag directly to this, like a little hanging tag, something like that if you want. I am thinking I just want some embellishments. Okay, I haven't thought about these. Oh, those would be kind of cute being that it's Christmas, right? Let me think about that. Because I just had another idea with those. Oh, look at the pearls would be pretty. The large pearls. Are these the regular? Yes. Not sure if I have any more of the iridescent pearls. The opal rounds are pretty. Kind of looking at sizes too of the embellishments. Okay, okay, I only have small iridescent pearls, so I'm going to go with the large basic pearls. And I'm going to put one on each of these 4 handle parts. Looks a little fancy. Get dressed up, going out on the town, kind of fancy. Oh, the little snack napkins or the beverage napkins, that's fun. And I like to give those as gifts as well. You can always find some fun ones or really pretty ones. And then I'm thinking, since this is Christmas, let's just string a few of these. And please don't go away yet, because I'm going to show you another couple more variations. We're going to make one more box bag in a smaller size with a little different top. And then I'll show you 2 different ones I've already made up. But I'm thinking we should have some of these hanging. And I'm trying to think how to do this, to do several. So, you know, sometimes you buy a purse and they have like a charm or a branded piece hanging. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. So I thought, let's string some of these bell trinkets on, jingle bell trinkets. Okay, I'm confusing myself here. Obviously, you can tell the jingle bell trinket was a light bulb that just went off in my head a few moments ago, so I didn't have this really planned out well. But you get the idea. You can play with that and see. But I wanted a few, but I don't want them all hanging right together. How's that? Something like that? That's kind of what I was thinking. I wish the middle and the bottom one were a little closer together, but I'm not going to take the time to change that. Thanks for staying with me as I decided I have to put this idea into place. I'm not sure that's quite how I envisioned it, but you get the idea, right? You could also hang a to from tag on there, or, you know, a simple Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever sentiment you want. Add a little tissue paper in there. Oh, I should have had this on the front. Okay, well, that should have gone up here because now I see it back here by my seam. But you get the idea. And think of all the things you could put in here. Gloves, hat and gloves. And you could put tissue paper in here and then put your gift in. Or you could put like a bundle of or stack of handmade cards, wrap them in a cellophane bag and tie a bow and drop that whole thing in there. I'm sure you can come up with lots of different things. A candle in there. What else could you use in here? Cookies, treats, of course, right? The it was Tony, I think, right, that mentioned the napkins. All kinds of things, right? Movies, like CDs, DVDs, that sort of thing, paperback books, all kinds of things. But I just think it's kind of fun and pretty. It could even be, put a small plant or artificial plant in there. It could even be a centerpiece on a table. So super fun, super fun. And now we're going to make the small one really quick, and then I will show you two others using different paper and a little bit different finish. So for this small one, I'm going to, I want a base of 3 inches by 1.5 inch. So it's going to be small bag, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing. I started with wanting my box base to be 3 inches by 1.5 inches. And then, excuse me, then I added 1 inch to all 4 sides. 1 inch to all 4 sides. And that's how I came up with 5 by 3.5. Remember, I said you could make your box bag any size. You just figure out basically what you want the bottom to be. It could even be a square. And then you add 1 inch on all 4 sides to allow for the scoring. Use your bone folder to give those score lines a nice crease. Then we will trim out those 4 corners. Use your strong adhesive on each of the 4 corners, 4 tabs, and then fold those tabs in, match up the corners and the top edges. And then we have our 3" by 1.5" box or base for our box bag. Now, who remembers how to determine the length of DSP that we'll need? Now, I've just cut mine 3 inches. I'm keeping it simple, just did 3 inches wide, or 3" height to my bag. I could have made it 4, 5, 6. I could make it whatever I want, to be quite honest, as long as my DSP allows. Determine how much length I need. You add up all 4, correct, Tony, add up all 4 sides and then approximately a 1/2 inch. Minimum 1/2 inch, no more than 1 inch overlap. So then I'm going to add some tear and tape along the bottom edge. And add tear and tape to one short side. I'm kind of going to go around here and estimate. Notice I'm starting my edge with the adhesive this time. Right on the corner, I'm going to go around and pinch the DSP at each of the corners. That little pinch kind of takes the place of a score line, but it ends up being more accurate than putting a score line there. Just because when you take that paper around a corner, it uses up a little more length than we think. And now I'm ready to add the DSP to my box base. I want the edges, the bottom edge of the DSP to line up with that bottom of the box base. Pinch the corner, take it around. Just making sure all my edges are lining up nicely. Again, you can lay it flat on the table if that's easier for you to keep those edges lined up. After you make 1 or 2, you'll get the hang of it and you'll know which way works best for you. Sometimes too, like the smaller ones are easy to wrap when you're holding them. The larger ones can be a little cumbersome. So just try it each way and see what works best for you. You can't really go wrong. And then you're going to pull off that final strip. And this is where the DSP is overlapping. It's just a small overlap I have. Okay. You can see it from the inside now, the bottom. So we've got our box bag. On this one, it's small. Maybe I would put some treats in here. I'm hoping to, I have a gift for the littles, and I'm thinking something like this might do, although I already have something made and picked out. But this would be cute little table favor. Put some chocolates in there. What else? Peppermints, that sort of thing. Now, instead of making handles, which you can certainly do, and I'm not even going to reinforce the top, because if I'm putting treats in this, typically somebody's not going to hang on to this for too long, right? Somebody, if you give them a gift in this, might hang on to this and reuse it, that sort of thing, or display it. But if it's for treats and it's small like this, they're probably not going to hang on to it. I hate to say that, because you know it like is crushing, right? If you think somebody's going to throw away your handmade thing. But realistically, people don't hang on to all those little things. So I have a different way that I would close this. I would use a punch or even a die, and just a bit of, oops, that's the wrong color. A bit of my cardstock. Let me find a scrap here. This will do. That's the punch I'm using now. And I'm just going to fold this in half. You can use your scoring tool if you want to, but I'm just going to fold it in half like that. And then I'm going to put adhesive on just one side right now, just one side. And put that adhesive on the back. And I'm placing it just to where the score line is. Or just where the fold is, I should say. I should have put a nicer score line in. And then after I fill it, then I would close it up. Okay. Now, I did think, okay, I could use a magnet. I could use a little bit of, why can't I think of it? You know, the little plasticky thing. I'm having a moment here. Help me out, people. Velcro. You could add a little piece of Velcro there, the teeny tiny magnets. But again, think, first of all, if you're giving them to children, I don't like, especially small children, I don't like giving them things with the tiny magnets. And even Velcro, you have to be careful. Sometimes that can pull off. But what I would do is I would just fill it with the treats, the peppermints or whatever, and close it up and seal it with my adhesive. Yes, you could punch a hole and tie a ribbon around it. That works well too. You could even do that without adding the punched piece. So lots of possibilities. But that's kind of how I would finish it off. Maybe you would want to put a little sentiment on there, or some kind of embellishment, a bow, whatever. So there are two options. I'm going to fix this up. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that. So when you see the photo of this large box bag on my blog in a few days, it might or might not have the jingle bells on there. I'll have to see what I come up with. So really, two nice ideas. And again, you can change the sizes. All right. When I post to my blog, I will give you the math to show you, help you adjust the size to whatever you're making, okay? But it's basically you determine the size of the bottom you want, whether it be rectangle, square, or whatever, and then you add an inch on all four sides, because that allows for the scoring and pulling up the sides to form the box bottom. And then from there, it's real easy. Okay, would you like to see a couple more that I made? All right, here was my first sample. Again, I used some paper from the Boughs of Holly DSP pack. This has a little more rustic look to it. And I used this, what is it called? Braided twine or something? Threaded twine. But it's got twine and it's got a very just thin metallic thread going through it. So it adds a little bit of sparkle. I kind of like that. And that's what I used for my handles. Now, oftentimes when I make bags, I have the knots on the inside. I intentionally put the knots on the outside just to give it a little more of that rustic feel, add a little more interest by having the knots on the outside. But here's something I thought of for this one. And now my son-in-law, John, I know has done hunting and, you know, those outdoor sports. He hasn't done them since he met Andrea. I don't know when he will have the opportunity to do that, but he appreciates some camo. And the opposite side of this paper is sort of a camo pattern. And I thought, oh, why not hang a tag and put a J on there for John. And then, I don't know, I'll gift it something to him in there. I don't know what, gloves or, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But it would even work. I mean, you could say it's a winter scene, but I think this could work all year round because of the pine. You know, the white in the background makes me think snow on the ground. It doesn't have to be though. So I don't know when I'll give it to him, but that's what my plan is. And of course, we have some new alphabet dies coming in our January mini catalog. So I think I'll pull that out and use that for my J there. So that's that. And then here's the mini one I made. And even John would appreciate this because he loves to eat. So if I would throw some chocolates in there, some treats, he would love it. This would be a fun way to give a gift card too. Think about that, a fun way to give a gift card. But this, I think I need a twine ribbon or bow or something on it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna finish that off for John. But anyways, there you have it, the box bag in 2 sizes. And I gave you some different ideas of what you can put in these. And I would love to hear how you would use the box bags that you make at home. Kathy, I'm thinking it would. I don't have anything down here handy for that size. But if it doesn't, I would say you just make it slightly larger. But I'm thinking it would. It might need to sit kind of diagonally. But I think it's easily adjusted to a gift card. I'll have to try it out when I go upstairs. Pull out a credit card or old gift card or something. I should keep an old gift card down here in my craft room, in my little bin right here, for when those questions come up. Okay. What do you think? Who's going to try this? Who's going to try this? Anybody? Hey there, Debbie. I'm going to scroll back quickly and see if there were any questions I missed. I thought I saw one come up, but maybe not. Or maybe I already answered it. Nope, I guess I didn't miss a question. Okay, Karen says she's going to try it. Holly says super cute project. Tony's going to give it a try. Debbie's going to give it a try. I'm going to ask a favor then. When you try this project, I should say when you do, because I know you will be successful doing it, please share what yours box bag is, and so that we can see some different ideas, how you finished yours off, what DSP you used, what colors you used. Did you add embellishments? Did you add handles? What kind of handles? That sort of thing. And maybe even give us some ideas of how you plan to use your box bag. Okay? I always love to see what other people do. And you do inspire me. Please know that. I know you come to me for inspiration, but I enjoy getting inspiration from others as well. All right. Gosh, what's going on the rest of the week? Tomorrow, I will be going to Cincinnati. My upline and her upline are having a Christmas dinner for anybody on their teams that is able to come. And so I'll be going out to dinner with some friends, demonstrator friends in Cincinnati. Looking forward to that. It's about a 2-hour drive from my house, but no problem. It's very close to where I used to live. And hoping to pop in on a friend or two and maybe even drop off a gift at the littles. I'm not sure. Those littles are always busy. Kids are always busy. 2 4th graders and a 6th grader. So I have to touch base with their mom and see if anybody will be around for me to drop off some surprises for them. Anyways, I will be back on Friday at 2 p.m. for my next Facebook Live. Gosh, I'm not sure what we'll be doing. I often do fun folds on Fridays, but I haven't planned for this Friday yet. And then I'm dog sitting the grand dogs at my house on the weekend, what you don't do for your kids, right? But it'll be fine. And if anybody has a cute, since I am watching the grand dogs, I thought, well, maybe I could do some kind of fun little crafty gift for Andrea and John with the dog's paw prints. If anybody has any good ideas, please share. I'm open to suggestions. It may or may not happen. The dogs may or may not cooperate with me either. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for spending your part of your Wednesday evening with me. I know this Facebook Live was a little long, but I had a lot of information to share with you at the beginning of this about our last chance list and our clearance rack refresh that are happening tomorrow, December 1st, starting at midnight Mountain Time. And I just wanted to give you a very different demonstration today. So that took a little longer. So I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you watching and viewing and hanging in there with me, and for sharing this video also. Oh, Nancy. Oh, don't say that. You love the bags, but you hate to use such pretty DSP. But what are you have to use the pretty DSP, right? You got to use it and show it off. Share it with others. All right. I know it's a hard one, though. It's a hard one. I have so much of this poinsettia paper. It's crazy. But yeah, I get you, though. I get you. I think we all have that issue at times. It's our favorite paper. Anyways, good night. Happy Wednesday. And I hope you'll join me on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye.